Story 1. People explaining to me why it is unjustified. You have everything, a good job, a good marriage, great kids. Enjoy it. Yes, thank you, I noticed that. And you know what? It makes it worse because obviously I have no right to feel bad. But then the demons inside my head play that card against me and tell me what a worthless, ungrateful person I am, and how much better everyone would be without me dragging them down, and how dangerous I am for my kids because, the dangers of living with a mentally burdened parent, and how my wife is only with me because of pity, and how I'm a fraud in my job, and you get the idea. Story 2. Knowing that you are capable of so much more, but you just cannot. Even just getting up and brushing your teeth more than once a day feels like a major achievement. Story 3. The paralyzing feeling of not being able to get anything done, wanting to do things so badly, but you just don't have the energy or motivation most of the time, and then looking at other people who complete tasks and get things done easily, which makes you feel like such a failure at life. Story 4. The fact that I can laugh until I wheeze when I am with people, but the moment I am in a safe environment alone and the facade drops, I am barely functioning and apathetic. No one believes you are sad all the time because they only see 10 minutes of your day where you perform happiness. Story 5. For me, it's feeling like a burden. I don't want other people to have to deal with my moods or my irrational thoughts. Everyone has so much going on. I feel bad for sharing, which makes me feel worse than I originally did. Story 6. It feels like you do not remember what better feels like, and then you do things that you think will make you feel better, but they do not. They make it worse. Story 7. Not having the hopes and anticipation that it will get better. Just wanting to give up. Having to fight back even though all of your instincts say otherwise. Longing for touch but breaking out crying as soon as your significant other touches you because you understand in that second that there is no touch powerful enough to help. Story 8. The fact that sometimes it just hits. I'll be having a perfectly normal day, and all those feelings just start. In the past, I used to dwell and spiral on the bad things happening in my life, and it was easy to think, those reasons are why I'm sad. But now that things have genuinely gotten better, the feeling comes, and there's no reason for it, and it's almost worse. I'm just sitting here feeling horrible because, I don't know. Story 9. It's always there. It never really goes away. Even in some of the happiest moments of my life, it's always there lingering in the background. It's like a constant low-level background hum, and the hum goes on forever. Story 10. The worst thing about depression is how isolating it feels. It is like being trapped in your own mind, where everything feels heavy, and even small tasks seem impossible. It can make you feel disconnected from the people you love, and it is hard to explain to others because it is not always something you can see. The lack of energy, motivation, and hope can be exhausting, and it is hard to see any way out of it in the moment. I suffered from this and do not want it anymore. Story 11. Worst part for me was the inability to tell people why I am like this. Also, losing the joy of the most simple things like games and shows really sucked. Story 12. Not knowing why I'm sad at the moment and wanting to do something reckless on impulse, and not knowing when it will go away. Seeing the worried look on your little siblings and friends' faces when they realize you're so sad. Your friends and family being worried but feeling they don't care for whatever reason. Thinking the only solution is to end it. Story 13. You want to get more broken sometimes when you're broken already. Sometimes you want someone else to take control of your life. You want to lose control. There are many bad feelings in life because of depression. Story 14. One of them is the way in which the thoughts depression creates seem completely reliable and true, just like the thoughts you have when you're healthy. All of a sudden, you simply believe you've come to conclusions such as that life has nothing to give anymore, you have no hope, you're a complete failure, or other such things. You are being bombarded with symptomatic thoughts, and before getting to know what depression is about, they can seem like revelations and truths. Story 15. At any moment or in any situation, I feel like dying. I always have to find a reason or a goal to hold onto to stop myself from committing suicide. I can't feel happy and have to pretend to be cheerful so the people around me won't worry. Story 16. Depression will change your mood in very negative ways. It makes me very impatient and often very angry for no reason. But that's not the worst part. It's how fast people turn their backs on you because of these behavioral changes. Even people who love you don't understand why you're so angry, and they will assume you're cold and callous, and they will turn away. They don't want to deal with that. I so badly want friends and family here for me, but they don't want to be around someone so angry all the time. Story 17. I just want to sleep the whole day away. I have no fun in anything. I have fear constantly. I can't keep social contacts. I can't go outside. Honestly, I have wanted to die for a long, long time. I'm 40 years old. This world and how my life turned out is nearly unbearable. So I take benzodiazepines. I'm addicted. My body is messed up. Story 18. The feeling of being a hollow shell, and the fact that your hobbies and simple pleasures in life are significantly less effective or stop working entirely, makes it much worse. Story 19. It's the complete loss of who you are, with no desire to do anything, not even to get out of bed. Your mind shuts down, leaving you isolated and drained, while you blame yourself for feeling useless. You just lose yourself. Story 20. How it makes you think that everybody is against you. You end up pushing yourself away from the people that care about you because the depression keeps you from seeing that you are cared for. Story 21. The thing with depression is it's not just a big sadness. It's a feeling of emptiness. Imagine being unable to enjoy anything as you sink into pure apathy. The worst part is that people ignore you, think you're annoying, or just wish you were gone. Story 22. Feeling nothing. Surrounded by loving, caring people, seeing or hearing something beautiful. Too bad. You don't get to feel anything. Numb. Walking in a heavy mental mud that covers every aspect of your life. It's paralyzing. Take the medications, exercise, eat right. So they say. It helps to some degree, but you also have to change some things around you and how you think about things. You might be faking happiness sometimes, but in my years of experience with this beast, it's really best to find happiness in something small because it can help you out of the pit. For me, this time around, it was starting a routine with my elderly neighbor to help him pick up groceries together. The routine and knowing that he expects me to come over, I can't let him down. We go together to the store so we both get out of the house. He's upset that he's dying, and I already felt dead, so in a weird way we get each other. We crack jokes about death and dying while we tend to weeds together in his garden, admire blooms, or talk about future gardening plans. We might make a meal after shopping. We kind of have a balance going on. We both know that we are hovering over some kind of void, but doing it together seems to make the edge of the emptiness seem further away. Story 23. You lose interest in things very fast. I tried Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a week, 3 days a week, on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and automatically lost all motivation after a month. Story 24. Being forced to do tasks you don't have the energy to do because you still have to function as a normal person in society. You still have to finish school, get a job, and work the job just to pay bills. You don't feel like doing any of that, but if you don't, you'd end up making things worse for yourself. Story 25. Depression makes time feel as though it stops. Not in the comforting way it does when you are with loved ones, but in a way that stretches every fiber of your being. It drags each second into an eternity, leaving you trapped in a heavy, relentless stillness. Story 26. For me, it's that my brain won't update. It's like the good habits just dissolve after a few days. Even though I benefit from everything my good routine creates, the bad routine can always prioritize itself. I feel like a parasite in my own brain, like what I want to do with my life is secondary to meaningless nonsense that shouldn't have any priority. It feels like a driver just refuses to update. Story 27. When competitive people notice it and encourage others to kick you in the weak points in some strange way of dethroning you from the job you are doing now. Story 28. How many people don't realize you are depressed because it's not something you can see, and because a lot of us are really good at masking it. I just had a conversation with a coworker and friend about a new medication I was considering taking for a medical issue, and I was on the fence because one of the side effects can be a worsening of depression. I said I was concerned as I have mild depressive episodes sometimes, and I was worried this would make them worse. She looks shocked and says, "You have depression?" "Yes, I do. I hide it very well." Story 29. For me, it was the manic phases. The melancholic ones I could handle pretty well. They used to make me feel deep and artistic. I kind of liked that. But the manic times were so embarrassing. And I couldn't stop them even though I felt very embarrassed. The small crises I have now with depression after more than a decade of overcoming it are so painful. No more artistic melancholia. Now, it's like I'm going to die of a stroke any moment. Thank God they are very small and quick. Story 30. The more you need loving people around, the more you push them away, because it's at those super low points where you don't want to do or be anything. It just creates an emptiness vibe that is nearly unbearable to those who don't feel the same. And if they do feel the same, it's hard to bring each other up. Story 31. That it doesn't go away. No matter how many therapy sessions, no matter what medications you're on, it's always lingering. The best day could occur where everything goes right, everyone gets along, and so on. And you can't help but think, at least once throughout the perfect day, that the world and the people you love would actually be better off without you. That's my depression anyway, and it's terribly exhausting. Story 32. The fact that on your good days you can look back and see all the time and opportunities it took away makes you even more depressed. You have to start where you are and work your program because it can and does get better if you get the help you need and take the correct steps to address it. Proper nutrition, limiting toxic media, exercise, time spent in nature, listening to chill upbeat music, and having healthy hobbies like getting a dog or even having some houseplants can all help. Story 33. It's literally mental pain and affects you in many ways like physical pain, but does not show. People who have never experienced it have no idea how bad it can get and try to placate you with ridiculous generalizations. If you have never experienced it, you have no idea how bad it is or can get. The soul pain. Story 34. Feeling so far deep in sadness that you see no way of crawling out, which kills all motivation and desire to live, so you just exist as an apathetic and lonely person. Story 35. Not sure if this is old age or depression. My daughter is always saying she's excited about this or that, Halloween or Christmas or whatever. I'm never excited about anything these days. I don't think anything will really be that good. I go to a concert and I know by the end my back will be killing me. I feel like Eeyore. Story 36. It is an insidious belief system, constantly reinforcing its negative beliefs. It actively weakens your ability to challenge those beliefs by gradually destroying your self-esteem, distorting perceptions, and depleting all your energy. It creates this vicious circle where you become weakened and more susceptible to the negative beliefs, deepening its hold. It gets stronger by making you weaker, and it is hard to get out of, but it's possible. It's a constant battle, but a big thing is to challenge all those negative thoughts that come up. Remember, it's a disease that distorts your view of reality and tries to convince you everything is bad because it said so, but you can always ask for evidence. You can find it. Depression doesn't have the final say over everything. Don't just take it at its word. It lies all the time and twists reality, and as long as you're aware of that, you can beat it. You're not your depression. Story 37. For me, it was the memory loss. I can count on both hands the memories I have from 2020 through to 2022. To clarify, I don't think it was memory loss, but more an inability to create lasting memories, as I had very little really worth remembering. Story 38. Self-isolating yourself. Feels peaceful, but after a while it gets lonely, and then you feel distrustful and hypervigilant towards those who want to reach out to you. Story 39. The shame I feel when I cannot even do basic tasks such as get out of bed, brush my teeth, shower, eat, and so on. The guilt of calling in sick when I feel like depression is not a valid excuse. The inability to provide a good enough reason as to why I suddenly feel this way. Nobody died, and nothing tragic happened. It just comes out of the blue. I feel depressed for no reason. But because there is no reason that feels good enough, I must not tell anybody and fake a smile instead. And faking it is hard, exhausting, a cycle that I do not even know I can keep up with anymore. Story 40. For me, it's knowing that I could make it better if I decided to, but I don't have the motivation or energy to do it, and then I feel bad about it, which makes it worse. Story 41. For me, it's that I don't know when it will hit. I can go days feeling okay, Then suddenly, here's a case of the sadness. You're going to sleep all day and be grumpy with your partner when you are awake. And of course, there's the other side of it, which is I never know how long it's going to last. Could be days, could be weeks. My longest period was 2 years. That's when I decided I needed help. Story 42. Simultaneously being desensitized to your own suffering to the point that you keep asking yourself if you are just faking it for attention, and being so overwhelmed by the inability to take action that you cannot really make a strategy to get better. Story 43. 1. Having zero energy to do things you want to do and watching everyone do things while you sit powerless. The concurrent anxiety about having a checklist you cannot get to. Guilt because you cannot just suck it up like everyone tells you to. My favorite. Feeling like trash because you can't run, eat, pray, or smile enough to make it just go away like everyone suggests. However, I say it to everyone. Getting on Zoloft was a lifesaver for me. I had depression and anxiety that would render me motionless on the couch, spiraling, but I couldn't do anything. I thank my primary care physician every day for listening to me and starting me on it. I should have started on it in college, to be honest.